Hello. So, welcome. This is going to be a bit of an experiment to see how well a Q&A goes on YouTube, because I think it's going to be easier to do it on here with the comments rather than using the question box on Instagram. So, let me just put something down here. Sorry. Place the questions in the comments box. Can you pin it like you can on? No, you can just remove. Okay, we shall have to see what happens. So, if you're watching, guys, come along. We are doing 2 different decks today. Oh, I love that. So, using the This Might Hurt Tarot deck, which is obviously one of my favourites. You all know that. But also using the Cosmic Cycles deck. So, I've got about 45 minutes to an hour. Divya, I'm doing very, very well. I wanted to try out what it's like doing Q&A on here, because I think it's probably going to be a little bit easier to be able to scroll back through the comments, because obviously we know what it's like on Instagram when there's lots of questions coming through and then we kind of miss some. So obviously if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. I'm sure most of you do anyway. So Chinu Haswani, how does my ex Amrit feel about Twinkle? Okay, so first up we've got a Knight of Wands. Okay. Right, so first out we got this Knight of Wands. Now, this is a really good card, because this to me says that your ex is making progress. Is making progress in what he wants to do, in where he's headed in life. Like, he's very clear about his direction, and I'm really, really pleased for that. My only concern, though, is we've got 2 other cards which jumped out. So we've got the 8 of Swords. Now, we all know how I feel about this 8 of Swords. This is absolutely like that awful moment of being trapped, being bound, being blindfolded, like you can't even see the wood for the trees. And behind it is the Death card. Now that for me says that it's almost a bit like what he's doing is he's kind of running away from everything. Like, he's running headlong into what he needs to do, into what he needs to sort out in his life, what he needs to get going. But in doing so, I feel like he's running away, because actually what he's doing is running away from this feeling of being trapped. And the being trapped is also avoiding the change that's coming through that he needs to, like the Death card, as we all know, is a lovely card of change. You've got all these different levels of people, how they expect it. You've got the sun shining super bright in the background. Like, the change is good. And my trouble is that I feel like your ex Emma is very busy in avoidance mode. He's very busy charging through, dealing with other things. It's kind of like anything else he can do to avoid this. So I feel like it's how is he feeling, and with regards to how is he feeling about Twinkle, my fear is that his feeling is that Twinkle is kind of trapping him with what's going on, and the trapping is producing more change. Like, it's one of those things where the longer you try and keep someone with you, the more they resist it, and the more they kind of flee because they push back, particularly with masculinity. Anyway, I hope that helps. So next one, Dishma. Oh yes, so much easier. And also because not a lot of people are joining in, so it makes it much quieter, which means we can actually go into a bit more depth on questions, which is a lot nicer, because Instagram, I feel like I end up rushing through everything and trying to get through, really quickly to try and get as many as possible done. So don't forget, questions in the box. If you haven't subscribed, obviously make sure you do, and hit the notification bell, because I will start doing them more on here, because I think it's a bit easier. So Dishma, what are my DM's feelings about our connection? Any movement towards our union? Thank you. I might have to put love hearts on. Oh, because you're probably watching on your phone. Okay, I'm on my laptop, so. Oh. Okay, so your DM's feelings about your connection. Now, first off, I'm going to get the bad news out of the way. So first off, we've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this one for me it's a little bit of a blockage on focus of productivity, of finding a way through. Like, it's a bit like if it was the upright, I'd feel like it would be sat round, it would be focusing on the rest of the path, on what's happening, what's coming through ahead of time, what's coming up in the future. But the past situation that I feel like your DM is in is that he's kind of lost sight of the goal. Like, he's lost his passion in the way of what he needs to do. He's lost I feel like he's just losing his direction and his focus, and it's like taking your eyes off the prize. Like if your goal was to be in a healthy relationship with someone and to find love and to do all those things, then it would be upright and it'd be like, listen, I'm focused on this. I know exactly what's coming. I know what I'm doing. At the moment, he's not. And that's why I think the connection is probably breaking down. Now, you've got a Six of Cups as well. So the Six of Cups is a reunion card. And it's very much like, we all know how much I adore this deck. But this is like growing something new. It's taking the time to water the plants and cultivate them and nurture them and make sure they grow and doing that together. So I feel like the progress is coming in. And with regards to movements towards your union, I definitely think that's coming through. I definitely think it's going to be coming later rather than sooner. Probably not, before the end of this year, but I think there's definitely going to be movement back towards being together. Now, my concern is, again, yes, you're going to grow together, but you've also got that Nine of Pentacles. Now, I think in the long run, I don't think it's that you're going to be on your own, but I think you have to be really confident in what you bring to the relationship, because this Nine of Pentacles, like, she is rocking. She knows exactly what she's doing. Like, she's, her garden, like, again, like these kids, they're playing at gardening. Like, it's a plant pot. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I love my plant pots on my patio. It's good to have your plant pots in, and it's easier to maintain them because it's contained. It's very like the plant pots, like, you can move them around. You can try it in a different location. You can move it with the sun. It's much more easier to manipulate than this, which is a full-on patch. It's a garden. It's a vegetable. Like, this is not going anywhere. This is cultivating crops. This is actually knowing where you're putting your worth in, knowing where you're putting the seeds down, being able to, like, water them and maintain them and cultivate them. But it's also a real solo thing. And I think for your union to work, because I think it's there. Like, listen, his eyes are not on the prize right now. He's not focused on the same thing that you're focused on. However, there is a union coming in because you've got that Six of Cups. So it's definitely there. But I think for it to work, I think you're going to have to be very confident in who you are and what you bring to the relationship. Because I think if you drop the ball on it, I think it will hinder him. And I think he almost needs to see you that you're strong on your own, that you don't need him. Because I think sometimes people, and again, especially masculines, I think they thrive on not on being needed, but it's like, actually when they like, listen, I say this as a man myself, when I feel like someone needs me too much, it's not attractive. It doesn't intrigue me as much as someone who's got their stuff together, who is completely confident on their own. That's when I'm like, yeah, you are totally ready. You are what I'm looking for, because you are enough on your own and you don't need me. And I want a piece of that. I want to learn from that. I want to be around that, because that lifts everyone up. And anyway, I hope that helps. So that was Divya. Serbi Parikh. Hey, can I please have a career reading? Oh, okay. Resigned from my job yesterday. I'm waiting for new opportunities. Don't worry, it's only water. But I've been really thirsty all day today. Anyway, okay, let's have a look at your career situation. What's going on with your career? What you can look forward to. I mean, that's exciting times. Like, resigning, I think, if something isn't for you and you don't want to be around something anymore, it's definitely best to get out of it. Okay, Serbi, I want you to pick the number between 1, 2, and 3. Because I'm going to split them into 3 piles. I'm going to take the top 3 cards from each one, because this deck doesn't jump as much. So yeah, if you can choose between 1, 2, and 3, that would be awesome. But this is riveting. So Serbi, do you want pile 1? Okay, beautiful. Yes. Now listen, this is I'm really excited by this. Now, in the short term, You've got that Five of Cups. Now listen, this is a really tough card, because this is so lonely, it's so full of loss, and it's mourning. And that's where I think, like, the job that you're in, the very first thing you have to do once you're out of this job is kind of mourn the fact that it's gone. And maybe what it was when you went into the job, it held a lot of promise, it had so much going for it, but you've made the right decision 100%, because you're not happy where you are. And this mourning period, this awful like, it's literally, oh my God, it breaks my heart, this card, because you can literally see like the spirit of Sky coming around to comfort. You've got the dog there coming to comfort, and it's a case of, being so destitute, I think is the word I want, that something hasn't worked out. However, you've made the right choice, because you've next you've got the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Nine of Pentacles, for me, literally, we just talked about it on the last reading, is being top of your game, completely on your own, knowing your worth, knowing that you've got everything you need to do. And I think this is what's going to come from the new job. Now, I don't know, listen, this is a retail situation that she's in. So I don't know if you're looking for something along the lines of retail, providing services, providing that. But it's also like I say, because it's a handbag shop, essentially. It's one of those things where it's like you're helping other people to find their worth. And I think that's what you should be looking to do. Now, that doesn't have to be retail, because, like I say, tarot reading is helping people find their worth. Healing, counselling, all of those things is helping people understand their worth. So I think you need to find a job which not only provides you with a feeling of self-worth, but helps provide other people with that as well. And then your final card you got, oh my God, you got the Star. That is absolutely everything you want and more. It's just, again, this chick is out on her own. She's just waiting there. She knows full well. Oh, Divya, hang on. Divya, I think I did miss your question. I'm so sorry. I will be coming back to that one shortly. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I will come to that one as soon as I finish this one. This was for Serbi. So yeah, so Serbi, listen, once, like at the moment, you need to mourn and grieve the job that you were in. 100%. You need to process it, accept that it didn't work out the way you wanted it to. You've done the right thing by moving on. Now, as I was saying, you will come out on top with this new opportunities that you're coming in. I think it's going to be to do with encouraging other people to see things differently. Because again, like she's looking in the mirror, and when we look at ourselves in a mirror, we see, it's like that thing, when you see a photo of yourself and it doesn't look the same as you look in the mirror, because obviously things are reversed and you see things slightly differently. And for me, I think that's the thing, is it's going to be a job where you help other people see themselves differently, which is in turn going to make you feel a real sense of worth. But also, I think the job that you've got coming to you is going to be the job you've wanted for a long time, because this Star card it's a case, she's sitting out. She knows full well that shooting star's coming. She is set up with her telescope. She's got her little journal there. She's got her little lamp. She's got everything she needs to wait for that star, and it's coming in. Like, she's found it. She's seen it. That's a really good one. I'm really, really pleased about that. Divya, sorry, I'm coming back for your, I don't know if I say that right. I said Arthur is avoiding me. He's in a relationship and hiding from me. Okay. I'm glad you collared me on that and I didn't miss this question, because we all know I'm super nosy and I want to know what's going on. And let me just check the comments. So, yeah, you will be getting a good opportunity. Like, I definitely think it's coming. It's just a matter of waiting for it. And you're very, very welcome. Thank you for the green love hearts. This is all very nice. Okay, Divya, why said Arthur is avoiding me? Okay, I'm going to go with the 3 piles again. So if you can pick 1, 2, or 3. Okay, Divya, my love, if you can please pick a number between 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll go with that pile. Oh, no, you're welcome. Listen, that's what I'm saying. It's nice to do it over here, because it's quieter. So we can get a bit more done. We can get more into it. Okay, pile number 3. So, okay, so what the question was, why is he avoiding you, basically? Okay, so the reason he's avoiding you now, the first card you got out is Queen of Pentacles. And she, again, like I was just saying about the Nine of Pentacles, she is top of her game. Now, I don't know, my feeling is this is kind of how he views you, that I think he feels that you are a bit too strong for him right now. And I don't know if this is because you're rightly, if you're involved, rightly you're pushing your agenda. Because actually we could try and worry about other people, but what's the point? We need to worry about ourselves and make sure that we're okay and that we're doing what we need to do. Now, the next card you've got from that is the Chariot. And the Chariot is full on progress, but if in this situation, it's a little bit like if he's threatened by you in the way of you are strong and you know what you've got going on and he's not quite up to your level, how often do people run for the hills? And they literally they get out of there because they're like, listen, I can't face the judgment and judgment, I know, is one of those things when I think we always see things in others that things we don't like in others are things we're guilty of ourselves. Like, I know for a fact one of my friends and I, we both have the potential to be really obnoxious when we're drunk, and when she's doing it, I see it and I'm like, oh my God, that's hideous, I hate that, because I know I'm just like that, and vice versa. And it's a similar thing when people are not leveled up. Like when people see someone who's got their stuff together and is sorted and knows what they're doing and knows what they're about, if they're not up to that level, then what do? They run off and they leave and they get in their car and go. But what they're heading towards is the High Priestess. Now, this for me is listen, I love the High Priestess. She's all about doing her tarot cards. She's all about working through situations, trying to get connected, trying to find out what's going on. But she's also sat in a dark room right now. Like, she's, the sun is outside. It's bright. You can tell from the blinds that the blinds have come down. And it's almost like that thing of going, listen, you've run away because he doesn't think he's good enough. But what he's running into is hiding. And yes, I'm all for the High Priestess, for working out what's going on and for working through things and taking that time out to really go inward and get in tune with yourself, listen to your own judgment, listen to your own heart. But there's also the danger that you're doing it for too long, because like I say, this is a case of you're blocking out the sun, you're missing the whole day to sit and fester and overthink and overanalyze and overthink and overanalyze again. And that's where I think he's at the moment. And I think the reason he's running is because I think he views you as a little bit too strong. And maybe it's that if you're pushing your agenda, that the pushing is pushing him away, because he's like literally running off towards this. Or the other option is that if the lady because it's a man between two women, and he's running towards someone who is a little bit more like, as much as oh my God. Oh my God, okay. I'm on that one as well. Now listen. So he's in a situation between two women. One of whom is very, very strong and knows what's going on. The other one is learning that strength, but is also not quite there. Like, I know out of these two, which I'd rather be. 100% I'm gunning for this lady. Because I think I want to be that person that's got their stuff together and is sorted and is confident. This one, listen, we've all been there. We're reading tarot right now. We all know what that's like when you're literally sitting, asking questions, trying to question everything, overthinking, overanalyzing. But underneath it, so underneath the High Priestess, oh my God, it gets worse. We've then got a Tower. Now, this person that he's running back to, that is not happening. And I actually think, I think she's trying to work out what's going on, because like you said, that he's in a relationship and hiding things from you. I think this relationship knows that he's hiding things from her, and this is how she is. She's trying to work out what's going on. Again, listen, it's not lost on me that this could go either side, and you could be on either side of this situation. This could be you working things out and being kept in the dark and sitting there blocking out the sun, trying to figure out what's going on. And unfortunately, what's going on is that it's all about to fall apart. Now, I'm hoping this is her side of things, because what's underneath the card that's underneath this one, which I didn't even see, was a Three of Swords, which is, awful heartbreak, listening to songs on repeat. It's falling asleep listening to it. Like, just generally wanting that emotional break, trying to be completely honest, trying to, like he's sitting there, he's writing songs, he's playing the music, he's just literally trying to do anything to get the emotions out of his head. Now, that for me is what's happening on her side. On the flip side to that, we've got the devil. So this is where I don't know which way around it's going to sit. Because if right, we're going to go through the stories and then we'll work out which way round we think it is. The Queen of Pentacles, who is very top of her game, knows what she's doing, knows what she's about. She's underlying, she's the devil. She's got the devil going on and the devil coming in. And this, if this is you and he's leaving because he thinks you're too strong and you're set on your own, he also knows full well that his situation is putting you back here. And if he keeps coming in and dragging you back into this, that is preventing you from this. And the devil can't do that to the Queen of Pentacles, because the devil, thrives on neediness. That's what he wants. He wants the control aspect. The other card that came out that really gave me like the shivers is underneath him. He's got the death card. So he has got some big changes coming regardless. And it might be that he actually walks away from both of you. Because if he can't make either of you happy, and it's not making, and I don't think it's making him happy. I think if the devil was in the top position and it was him, I would say, listen, he's playing both of you. But I don't think he is. I think he's got a big change coming. And I actually think he's probably going to break it off with both of you. I hope not. I hope things work out better for you. But I think that's the story that I'm getting from here. Anyway, that was a lot to take in. So, I hope that helps. Next, we got Jazzcore. Hello. No, I don't get notifications. I get notifications if people subscribe. I get notifications. I can see there's 10 people online. But no, listen, it's fine. Spam is fine over here. Sorry, right, let me check where I'm up to. Oh, Jasmine, you've retracted a message. That's interesting. I didn't know YouTube would tell me that. Okay, Shweta, 23. Hey, Neil, how do you think London visit turn out to be? Any other guidance would be great, thank you. Going to London, that's exciting. Although I say that, I actually haven't been into London, like I'm like 26 miles outside of London, like on a marathon's journey away from London, from central London. And I actually really miss it. Like I drove through a few weeks back and along the River Thames, and it was over the bridges. It was such a lovely drive. And I'd forgotten how much I love London. Like it's just so beautiful. But anyway, let's get some general advice for you. Okay, so we're going to start with the good card. So we got the Nine of Pentacles. Seriously, like how many times is this going to come out? I'm loving everyone's strength today, everyone being top of their game, everyone knowing their own self-worth. Now, this for me is a case that you will have to maintain this feeling. Where you are right now is very good. Like you're very strong in your own power, like you're standing up for what you believe in. And it's like things are coming up, like the crop is coming in. You're able to harvest things now. I feel like that's the sense I'm getting from this, is that that's where you are. The reason I say you need to hang on to that, in next out you've got a Page of Pentacles in reverse, but worse than that, you've also got the Sun in reverse. So my concern with that is that I feel like probably for the next few weeks, maybe this is just for October. In fact, let's cap it. Let's say this is October, because we've got a few weeks left. Then we've got another full moon, which is going to be lovely on Halloween. Amazing. But I think there's going to be some real struggles coming in. I think there's going to be some down days where it's a bit like I was saying with that High Priestess, where the sun, she just keeps the blind down. She doesn't want to accept that it's a day. Just wants to stay, wallow. And my feeling with this is that I think there are going to be days where you also lose sight of the action, of where you're headed, of what it is that you're working towards, because things aren't coming up. And and what I want you to hang on to is that this too shall pass. This is where you're at. This is your good focus. This is what you've got going on. Is you are growing. You are putting in the work that you need to do. You've done what you need to level up, to get to the better mentality, to get to that kind of strength. Unfortunately, there are going to be problems along the way in the next few weeks. There's going to be some stuff that goes against you. Just think it's like things that you've been working toward that don't pan out, and that kind of makes you question why you bothered in the first place. But you bothered because you're good at it and you know what you're doing. So my advice is to keep holding on to that. Whenever you get to this stage where you think things are like just getting on top of you, like you want a duvet day, you just want to stay in bed for the day, sleep in, have a relax. No, because listen, you've got to make it work and you've got to do what you need to do. Hope that helps. Where am I up to? Okay, Priyanka. Which I didn't realise that was a real name, because I was just watching Canada's Drag Race, and spoiler alert, there's a queen called Priyanka. So please give me love guidance. Thanks in advance. You're very welcome. I do like a good thank you. And actually it's nice to do it in advance because it just gets it out of the way, doesn't it? And then I can crack on to the next question without having to kind of not interrupt readings. Listen, it's never an interruption. It's all good. Okay, let's see if we can get you some general love guidance. Okay, so I feel like your love life has been a bit of a struggle recently. I've got 9 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So first off, I've got the 7 of Wands. Now this for me is she's a really confident character in that she's armed. She's got, the bow is locked and loaded. Like she's got it. She's ready to tackle those things. But it's very heavy. Like it's like literally, you take one problem down, another one springs up. You take one down, another one comes up. And there's that whole thing of the universe will only throw at you what you can cope with. But my feeling is that with your love life, it's got to the point where it's like, how long can I keep battling for this? Because I've been putting in the work. Like very Charlotte from Sex. I've been dating 10 years. Where is he? She's just so desperate to meet her man of her dreams. And my feeling with this is there's been a lot of struggle. Now you're coming into a different situation at the moment where, in order to make progress, it's down to you. And I know that sounds really easy. It's very easy to say. It's very Captain Obvious. But with this, it's like if you can balance yourself, see how she's got the scales down here, and she's very in balance. Like the work-life balance, the home life, the family life, everything, work, play, everything's balanced out. She knows her place. She knows what's going on. And when I say her place, I don't mean nonsense. I mean she knows where she is in the world. She knows what she's doing. As a result, she's able to just spread it around a little bit. And I feel like this is a message to try new things. And I don't know, listen, it's very easy to get settled into dating with regards to how you meet people. Do you meet people through work? Do you meet people through friends, through family? And that, I think, is where it's almost been with the 7 of Wands. It's almost been a little bit of trouble because actually those avenues I don't think are working for you. I think you need to try a different avenue. Like if you're used to meeting people through family, friends, try something like a hobby, like a gym, a class, or something else where there's someone different, where you can expand your circle. Because once you expand the circle, once you get to meet other people, then you get to start sharing and you get to this balanced position where things are working out in your favor and everything starts to turn around. But then you've also got 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And this is where I think the problem comes in, is that it's like in the upright, this for me is absolutely, listen, I know these crops are coming in. I've done what I needed to do. It's now just a matter of waiting patiently. And while I'm all about trusting in the universe's timing, unfortunately, sometimes you can't sit around and wait for it. Like, we have to be out there getting into it. You've got to be in it to win it. And this is where I think with the love life particularly, and listen, I say this as someone who avidly, actively avoided dating without realizing I was avoiding dating. But I did that for years. I avoided it. I would crush on people who were unavailable, physically, emotionally, distance-wise, because for me it was safer. And I can now admit that, having gone through my evolution last year. But I think that this is it's not a case of sitting back and waiting and thinking, oh well, I've met that person, so I'll see what happens with them. Oh well, they gave me a little bit, and then it wasn't really much, so I'll just wait a little bit longer because I've invested here already. No, if people aren't giving it back, if the investment isn't paying off with people, move on. And that's advice I need to hear as well. So that's definitely helped me. I hope it's helped you. Okay, jazzcore. I love that. Jazzcore feel you feed good. Which makes me laugh because it's one of those things where I think like Indian people are such feeders. Like tonight I was coming back from the gym because my mum's still with me. And she was like, oh, are you going to be hungry when you get in? I was like, oh, yeah, I'll probably just have a little bit or something. She was like, oh, well, Auntie Pinky's made some sabji, so do you want 2 or 3 lattes? I was like, oh, I'll just have 3. And then she made 4. Obviously, I ate 4 because they were there and it was delicious. Anyway, so let's see some general guidance for jazzcore. Oh, okay, you got the chariot. I like that. I'm going to see if we can get some more jumpers. Okay, we've got a chariot, we've got 3 pentacles. Ah, yes! I'm here for this. And I'm just going to show you what's on the bottom of the deck. It's not relevant to the reading, but I just adore this card. I literally can't get enough of this card. I feel like I'm going to need to order a spare of it and just have it sat on my desk. Anyway, so first off, you've got the chariot. So this is wonderful because this is running right into everything that's going on. So actually, it should be this way. Progress, victory, all of those wonderful, wonderful things that are associated with the chariot. But what I love the most in this deck as well is it's not just, him, it's not the traditional way it's person, it's the 2 sphinxes pulling the chariot. How boring. This is like, listen, I got my 2 little dogs with me. They're not dragging me along. They're not doing the journey. They're enjoying the journey. So actually what this is for me is that you're getting the progress and you're having the victory, but you're taking other people with you and sharing that victory with other people. That for me is just so much nicer than just the sense of victory itself. Middle, you've got a 3 of Pentacles, so we're coming in towards it. So you're coming into a section of time where things are going to be working out with other people. Other people are going to be supportive. Other people are going to help you out. Other people are going to see what's going on. It's just such a lovely, lovely moment because it's creating like this 3 of Pentacles. It's not just working towards something. It's creating. It's actually like sharing information, sharing wisdom, expertise, gifts, talent, passion. Finding other people to collaborate with that have that same excitement for you or for what you're doing as you do, and that's rare. That's really rare to find. People always say the only person that will run your business properly is you, because other people don't care. And then you've got the sun, which is awesome. The sun is such a beautiful card in every deck, but in this deck, it's that moment of everything's come up roses, not roses, sunflowers. And what she's doing is she's able to just stop and appreciate what's come up, take a picture so that she can savor that moment. And when things are down, what do? You can go back and look at that picture and think, wow, what a great time that was. I say picture, obviously sunflowers, but it's that thing of going, I can't think where it is now, but years ago, 6 years ago, I did Tough Mudder. And when I came home, I kept my number, and loads of people lost theirs. I kept mine the entire way around because I was like, I'm framing this, probably never going to go through it again. I'm framing it. It's still on my wall somewhere at the top. CBA for trying to pull it down and show you. I might put a picture of it up on Insta, maybe. But I think this is lovely. I think you've got a really good October coming through with progress and just actually working with other people and finding other people to bounce off. It's just such a lovely, lovely thing. Fatima, hello. Oh my God, I love it when people put help. I always said, what was the other one I always put instead? Help. It just comes out as, and I'm like, no, when I'm saying hello, it's like, help. It's not what you mean at all. You mean hello. Anyway, you corrected it. It's lovely. So can I please ask if you think Mohammed will be coming forward to me? Okay. Just want one more card, please. Okay. So first off, we've got an Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this for me is it's a bit of a no, unfortunately. I feel like Mohammed doesn't have the enthusiasm, and it's really hard. But if someone doesn't have the enthusiasm for something, it's really hard to encourage that behaviour. It's hard to encourage growth, because especially I think when you have so much enthusiasm for a situation, a relationship, a job, whatever it is, when you're so driven yourself, it's really hard to understand why other people don't see that, and other people aren't as driven and as enthusiastic and involved. And that, unfortunately, is my feeling of the situation, is that I don't think he's going to be coming forward to you. The reason I think that, though, is because at the moment, so he's then got a King of Wands and a King of Swords, and that's a really strong moment, because actually where he is, I just think he's really, really comfortable with what he's got going on. I think he's, like, these are both like air and fire, so they're both feeding each other. Like, and I think this is more like his ego, his mentality, his ego, his mentality, his ego, his mentality. He's in a position, I think, where he's so definite about who he is and doing the right thing and pleasing. Like, he is pleasing himself in the way of making sure that he's okay first and foremost. But these kings, they're not emperors. They don't rule everything, but they have their own sections that they have to worry about, and they have other people to look after and who depend on them. And my feeling is that it's almost like he's got a few too many demands on his time and his energy elsewhere. And unfortunately, that's why I think he's not really putting any energy towards the relationship with you. I think there's too much else going on, and the balance between these two, because these, air feeds fire, fire heats up air. There's all that kind of elemental stuff where it's like, it's the backwards and forwards, it's the ping pong effect that, the more he tries to do one side of things, the more the other side picks up and needs his advice or his help. Like, very much could be like work and family, like that pull of having to try and keep everything swimming at work, keep everything going, keeping his head above water, and also then still trying to maintain home life and looking after people at home, and that kind of, I feel like that's what it is. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. That's harsh, sorry. Karen B, I hope you're still here. Can you give some guidance on any upcoming opportunities, please? Yes, we can. Though I now don't know where the question went. Where did it go? Karen B, okay. I keep saying I'm going to keep things short so we can get through as many as possible. Oh, my sister's up. So upcoming opportunities now. Okay, first off, you've got the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords to me is very much about being clear in communication. So with regards to new opportunities that you've got coming up, what you need to do is make sure, sorry, I've got to slow down. Sometimes I get really quick when I'm talking. What I think you need to do is make sure that you are very clear on what it is that you expect from these opportunities. And what I mean by that is, it's more, rather than being, yes, you've got to be clear with other people. So if other people are asking you to do things, I'm not asking you to do things, that sounds dreadful. But if other people are offering you things, are providing, offering you jobs, offering you advice, doing what they need to do, I think it's down to you to be clear and say, listen, that's not what I'm after right now. That's not what I want. What I want to do is this. What I need is this. What I need is that. And be clear about what it is that you need, and also what it is that you don't need. But also, because it's come out with the Strength card, my feeling is that this is also accepting help. And I'm not one to advocate for, hang on, let me rephrase that. I have to check in with myself when I feel like I need to ask for help, and I push back on it, and I don't like it. I prefer to be the helper than to be helped. And that's arrogance on my part. That is 100% me thinking that I'm better because I'm not asking for help. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Brene Brown would have a field day on that. Because actually, part of these new opportunities that you've got coming up, I think, is going to be not reliant on other people, but accepting that other people can help you through it. And while you've got to be clear with the communication, he's also looking at the strength card. And this is what I mean, I don't want it to be a situation where you're looking for these new opportunities and you see other people who are able to work together and other people, and it's like, because I always feel like with this guy as well, that he's almost got a little bit of a bitter look on his face. Like, it feels like other people are doing more and other people are successful and other people are uniting and other people are like right up here and I'm still down here. That's what I get from this pairing, is there's a danger with these new opportunities that it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go off here. I'm going to go and check on what's happening there and keep going. I don't know. I think it's, yeah. I think you've got to be careful, basically, and just be really, really clear and concise on what it is that you expect, what it is that you want, and also being honest with yourself. I think that's another thing that's just kind of come to me. Jazz core. Yeah, the thing is, Jazz, I think on Insta it's too much of a rush. But listen, I appreciate the feedback, and it is something I'm testing out. I'm going to probably try and do both, I think. Jasmine, relationship guidance with my fiance. That's exciting. You've got a fiance anyway, first and foremost. Okay. Sub those three. Okay. So we're having the bottom of the deck, but I'm not showing it to you yet. So first off, we've got Four of Swords. Now, for me, I think the situation here is that you're both kind of sitting back on your laurels a little bit. I feel like the situation in your relationship is very comfortable. It's very easy. Like, it's very balanced. It's very much like you both know what you bring to the relationship. You both know what's going on. You both know what you have, and that there's security in that. And I really, really appreciate that. I really think that's lovely to be able to have that relaxing moment. Now, you've got the Ace of Pentacles, so there is something new, exciting coming. Maybe a bit of a level up, maybe a marriage, maybe, obviously I know you said you're affianced, that you're engaged, you're going to be married anyway. So it could be like a house, it could be a baby, something like that. I think there's definitely new opportunities coming through, which are going to shake things up. Because actually, I think where you are at the moment, it feels a little bit stagnant. And I think this new thing that's coming in, which, like I say, I think it's more materialistic than baby. I think it's more like a job, a house, something like that, that's coming up, is going to shake things up to the point. Because again, I think, like I've said with the Seven of Pentacles, in the upright, I love him because it's confidence, it's reaping what you sow, it's having those lovely moments of just taking a step back and waiting because you've done the work. But this is like, listen, you've been a bit lackluster. Neither of you have been really putting the work in and celebrating it. And actually, this change that's coming in is going to shake that up and make you start appreciating each other a bit more. So it's good. It's good coming out of bad is my general advice. Oh, Momi, I didn't see your question. Hang on. So Momi Das, you're... Oh, I did miss it. Sorry. Take it back. Okay. Is there any chance of me meeting someone who's made for me? Oh, listen. So your first card out you got is the High Priestess. Now, for me, I think, listen, there is always going to be someone who is made for us. And I believe strongly you will meet them. And I say that not as in like from this reading, but I think it's a case of in life, we will all meet them. Listen, it could be an earth sign. Because like that King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. But listen, for me, more than anything else, it's going to be someone who's strong. And when I say strong, I mean someone who's together, who's collected, who's calm, someone who's really good in a crisis, someone who's just like, listen, I've got it covered. If you're struggling, I got it. I can pick up the slack for you. It's fine. Now, first off, you've got the High Priestess, as I said. So I think you've got to follow your intuition when it comes to meeting people. And sometimes I think, like I was saying on a reading today, it's very easy when someone seems amazing to think like we often put people on pedestals and think, oh my God, they're amazing, they won't be interested in me. Why not? Because actually we all want to meet someone. I think I've yet to meet someone who genuinely says, I'm happy on my own, I don't want to be with anyone. I always think there's an ulterior motive and there's different situations. But with this, I think you've got to learn to trust yourself and trust what's going on and trust that if you meet someone or if you haven't met someone, that it's coming. Because this is also like, it is an overthinking thing with this high priestess. She's overanalyzing, she's desperately like not trusting in what's going on. And I think that's where it's like, it is a case of you've got to trust because there is someone coming in. And also you've got the Four of Swords. So I think realistically, you probably need to take a break from looking. And I know everyone always says that, listen, when you'll meet someone when you least expect it, all of that nonsense. But I genuinely think the more you take a break, because this guy, like, he's so ready to be in love with his guitar, with his flowers. He's on his way there, but he's just having a little nap. He's regrouping. He's just making sure that he knows he's got everything there. And that for me is you've got it all in there, and there understandably I think is a lot of love to offer, and that's why you're wanting to meet someone who's made for you. There is someone out there for everybody. I 100% believe that. Doesn't always mean it'll work out, but there is someone there. Anyway, hope that helps. Okay, Crystal Ramlow. Message from my person to me. Thank you in advance. Oh, okay, your person is going through some stuff right now. Let me tell you that for nothing. First off, they got that Ten of Swords. And that Ten of Swords for me is a really hard card because it's the awful messages that you don't want to hear from people. And yet, as much as you don't want to hear them, because like if you see how this person, like, they're lying down, but they're still on screen, they're still online, they're still listening to those messages that are harsh and not helping them out whatsoever. That's where he's been, and that's why I think he's been in a bit of a struggle. He is going to get out of it because he's got that Page of Cups, so he will progress once he's processed it all and once he's realised to not listen to other people's opinions. Because listen, what you think of me is none of my business. What he's got going on at the moment is really, really harsh. He will get through it, but he needs to reignite that for himself. And then he'll be able to progress. Sorry, I always talk about my person as if it's a him. For me, it is. I'm not saying that it could be a female for you. They will get through it. What they're going to do after that, though, this is lovely, and this is the Hanged Man. And this, for me, is not like the traditional, hung up, not moving, not going anywhere. This is exploration. This is seeing things from another perspective. This is, he's rock climbing, so he can see the world from a different view and see that progress, take in the bigger picture and see things that other people don't see. And actually, I think this is a massive progress card because these, to go from the Ten of Swords, where it's very hard for you, it's very much like wanting to block everything out but not being able to. It's like an addiction to being able to, being online, being on Instagram, being on Facebook, whatever it is, not being able to tear yourself away from those reviews and that impact is hurting him at the moment. And maybe actually your person just needs a little bit of attention and a reminder that things aren't always that bad and that there are people that care for them, which could be you. Anyway, hope that helps. Right. Gorgeous Soul. What's JRM's next actions, feelings towards me moving forward in October after yesterday? Oh, I want to know what happened yesterday. Oh my God. If you can share a little bit of what happened yesterday, that would be lovely, just because I'm nosy. Jazz, you're very welcome. Thank you for waiting as well. Thank you very much for waiting, everybody. I'm enjoying this because obviously I can take more time. So much nicer. Okay. Gorgeous Soul, what JRM's next actions, feelings towards me moving forward? Okay. So you've got... Yes! So glad we got another card out. So JRM's actions, feelings towards me moving forward in October after yesterday. I want to know what happened yesterday as an aside. But first off, it's got that strength card. So JRM's October is very much about rebuilding, about getting back into the saddle. Like this guy's had some hard knocks. Like he's literally lost the use of his legs. This is the Knight of Pentacles, so he's very much been training all his life for basketball. Very Troy McClure, I was going to say, Bolton from High School Musical. And what he's doing is he's trying to rebuild himself, and he's trying to get that strength back into his body. It's stuff that he's known before now, and I'm not talking physically, but emotionally, he's aware that he needs to rebuild himself. Again, I want to know what happened yesterday, but if this is between the two of you, then he is working on that right now, and that's what he needs to do. Because actually, when you've had that knock, if you don't rebuild yourself properly at your own pace, then you don't really rebuild. And without processing those things, you can't move on and you can't change. That leads into a Page of Wands, which I adore. This is so Katniss Everdeen, climbing up that tree to get a big view of the arena, to see what's going on, to literally feel everything out and be able to see things more clearly. And it's progress, it's making progress. And then you get the Six of Wands, which is one of my favourite cards in this deck, because it's full on celebration, it's pride, it's celebrating with everyone around you and being able to share that celebration with others, which is an amazing feeling. So I think, listen, I think JRM will get over whatever it was, but it is going to take the time, and it's going to be down to you, I think, to be patient and wait for them to sort that out. Nav, hello, liked and subscribed. What are Amon-Boss next actions towards me, if any? I like that little if any caveat on the end. So what are Amon's next actions towards me? Okay, so first off, we've got Seven of Wands. So his actions at the moment, he is trying to work out his path. He's trying to work out what he can do, because this for me it's a to-do list. It's like, right, listen, I've got one arrow loaded. I can only take one of these down. Which one am I going for? Then I'll tackle the next one. Then I'll tackle the next one. Then I'll go on. So for me, I feel like your Amon is trying to work out his best course of action and what he can do. Because at the moment he's a little bit overwhelmed with everything else that's going on. But what he's looking towards is the Ace of Wands. So he is trying to find that way out of it. He's trying to find that new opportunity, that way of getting energized. Like it's like that thing of when people say, I want to write a book. Well, what's your book about? I don't know. I haven't got the inspiration. I want the inspiration. This is something I want to do, but it's not there yet. And it involves him trying to sort these things through and sort these things out, and then he'll be able to find it out. And then this is the card I'm excited about, is that King of Cups. So I do think he's coming back in towards you, but I think he's got to sort himself out first, because this, the King of Cups doesn't, like, he's not fazed by anything. He's so settled and secure in what he's got going on that he doesn't need to worry about anything. Like, he can, once he's got his self-love filled, he can then share that love with other people. He can share the experience of what's going on. So again, I think it is going to take a little bit of patience from you to let him sort himself out. But I do think he is coming back to you. I think it's just going to be a matter of patience. Okay. Nomad Cook. Hello. I don't think we've met yet. Is it a good idea to work for Adam? Okay. I'm going to say yes. 100% yes. So first off, we got the Wheel of Fortune. Now that for me is like, this is the Ferris wheel. You've got to get on it to be able to enjoy what's going on. Once you're on the Ferris wheel, you get different views, you get different perspectives, and you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. Like, there's definitely going to be highs and lows with this job, but overall, I think 100% it's going to be good for you. Next one you've got is the Queen of Wands. Now listen, if that isn't a sign to take on a job and know that you can deal with it and know you can be in charge of everything, I don't know what it is. Because look at her, like, she's 100% on top of her game. Like, she's got all the plans in front of her. She's calling the shots. She knows what's going on at every point. And that's what I think this job is going to give you. Then got an Eight of Wands, which again, going back with the theme park theme, but you've got a Ferris wheel, you've got a roller coaster. So again, listen, It's ups, it's downs, it's ups, it's downs, but it's big progress. And it's big opportunities for growth. It's going to be thrilling. It's going to be exciting. And actually, I think it's going to make you really happy because you've got that Queen of Cups. And I adore her because she's all about like making nice things for other people and making sure other people are happy as well. So I think this job is going to be really, really good for you. I think it's going to, yes, it's going to have highs and lows. What job doesn't? I think it's going to be ups and downs and all the rest of it, repeating myself a little bit. But I think it's going to provide you a great sense of well-being and self-worth, and that's absolutely the one for me. Okay, I hope that helps. And Iona, is Flory the one for me? He wants to make things very serious and very soon. Interesting, because normally I wouldn't worry about people wanting to get serious. I'd be like, yeah, go for it. Anyway, right, let's have a look if he's the one for you. Ashley, how are you? I'm trying out YouTube Live just to see what's going on. So far, I like it because it's a lot calmer. I don't feel like, well, it's probably because it's quieter. It's not as many like messages barraging in, going, take my question, like it is on Instagram. So is Flory the one for me? You're very welcome, Nomad. Do you know what? I'm going to say yes. For now, he is the one for you. So first off, you've got the Queen of Wands, which literally, you saw me shuffle the cards. It just came out again. So I think, okay, I'm injured, so I can't work right now. Oh, God. I only had an MRI once, and I think it was when I cut my head open, long story. I'll get back to the reading in a minute. And I remember they were like, whichever way, whether you're meant to go head first or feet first, I got lay down and went to go in the wrong way, and they were like, no, you need to go the other way. And I was like, no, it's fine. I can be really, really still. I can be still for ages. Anyway, boring story. Right. Iona. Joanna? I'm not sure how you say that. Anyway, is Flory the one for you? Yes. I think 100% Flory knows what's going on. Feet first. Okay, perfect. I need to remember that in case I ever have one. Although I won't remember it, let's face it. But I think with this, I think Flory, listen, he's got some designs on what's going on. He knows what he's doing, but we have to trust in the Queen of Wands. She does know what's going on. She knows how this house is getting built. She knows what's happening. And everyone else kind of has to put their trust in her. So I think there's definitely some moments where, listen, he might be pushing for it a little bit too soon. I would trust him on it. I really would, because the next card you've got is the Judgment. And I just think this is such a lovely, I think it's a progression for you. And I think if, it might feel too soon for you, but realistically, I mean, listen, I don't know how old you are or anything like that, but I think realistically, it's very easy to go, oh, it's too soon, I don't want to do it. And what's that doing? That's actually delaying progress. Because if it feels, like he feels it's right, and he obviously does because it's that Queen of Wands, the option it gives you is leveling up. Like, you get the situation where you get to you just get to enjoy it and you get to embrace it and really make that progress and learn. And that's what I adore about this card, because this is it's that graduation moment of going, listen, I've done the dating thing, I've done what I needed to do, and now I'm listen, I might not be ready. Like, no one's ready when they leave university to go out into the world. Everyone's always a bit hesitant because you've been studying all your life, pretty much, unless you had a gap year. But who bothers with that? But when you've got to that point, it's like, what else is there to do? There is going to be progress, and we got an Emperor. So listen, I think he's going to take control of, not in a bad way, but I think he's going to just put your mind at ease. I think if he thinks it's going really, really well, let it go, enjoy it, and just embrace it. Listen, there's only flow. You've got to remember that. You've got to keep in the flow. You've got to go with it. And if he wants it to go further, I think do it. If it becomes problematic later down the line, you can deal with it, because listen, you've learned lessons. You've learned what you needed to do. But I feel like this is your graduation, really, for want of a better phrase. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I've got to go to bed because I'm up early in the morning, but I've really enjoyed doing it on YouTube. Definitely going to do it a bit more. I will see you all very, very soon. Bye, everyone.